and then which method that I want to trigger here. So I want to trigger method unload. Okay, you can specify when the front of the car or the front of the transporter is hit the sensor or on the back. Okay, or booking point. So what is the booking point? The booking point you can define. Okay, for now you can define in the transporter. So the transporter beside that you have the side of the transporter. The transporter have 1.6 meter long, 0.8 meter width, and width height of 0.4 meter, and the booking point here is in 0.5 from the front. It means that in the middle of the from the length, in the middle, in the width, and then at the bottom of the Z value. Okay, so this is a pinpoint of the car. Okay, it means that in the middle of the car. Yeah, so here, so maybe it's good to use the middle of the car. Yeah, so here, pinpoint not front. Of course, you can have a both of activate. So it's been that if we call this method 3 times. When the front of the car hitting the sensor, when it hitting the middle of the car, it means booking point, and then when it hit the gear. So this will call the method 3 times. I don't want to call that many, so just 1 time when the sensor hit the middle of the car. Okay, then that's it. Okay, now we start setup for the method. First, just connect where you want to connect the method. The method load again, so it's at the end of the backward. So the car, when you create a car, so it will create at the end of the truck, and then again you will travel backward and then hit the backward exit of the truck. And then this is where we connect the method load 1. So here, control load 1 will be at backward exit load 1. Okay, and then when the car go in the same direction of the arrow and then hit at the end, so it means exit here, lot 2. Okay, and then the data part, the method data part will help us write the sequence in the queue file. What is the purpose of the queue file? The queue file is just like the working schedule of the car. The car know where is the next location that need the delivery service, and then the method park data will help us write the destination of the car for the car. Okay, so here we write at the end of each station. Okay, or so at the beginning. So it means that when the park is generated at the show and go to E1, and it means that there is occupied in E1, it will send the signal to the queue file to say that, okay, car, the transporter, please come here to deliver my product. And then I connect my park data in the entrance here, apply, change, and then also here, control park data in the entrance. Okay, init process, init not process, init method. Again, the purpose of it is to create a car at the beginning, dot, sorry, car, and use, okay, dot, transporter, dot, create, where you want to create the truck. Okay, F7 to save, okay, and then now is init, okay, reset. The method reset is that I want to clear the queue file at the beginning of the workmanship, for example. So then I say queue file dot delete. So this will be have me delete all of the information in the queue file at the beginning when I click on reset button. Okay, F7 or close it. Yes. Okay, now is load method. Again, this load part method will have us write the information of who need the delivery service. So how to write something in the queue file. So we use the function push. Okay, push. What is the object that you want to push the information? Of course, the queue file. The push. Which information? What information that you want to push? You want to push the name of the station, and because that you connect the station to the method, this means that you can use the question mark now dot name. So it means that this path data you connect to E1, the question mark reference to E1 is equal to E1. And also the path data is connected to the entrance of the E2. So it means question mark is also E2. Okay, it means that this method will be triggered two places at E1 and also at E2. And for each different places, each trigger the method, the question mark will be turned into E1 when it is triggered at E1, and it will turn to E2 if it triggered at E2. Okay. So if we don't use question mark, it means that we need to write two methods, one here, one here, and you write here E1 dot name, E2 dot name, and so on. Okay, that's it. Then close it, apply case or not, yes. And then the lot one method, is just the same. Sorry, the same. When it's going back, it hit the backward exit. You will first make it stop and then set the speed equal to 0. You wait until E1 dot occupy E2 while one to finish the wait until command. And the second condition is you want the is already finished processing inside E1. So E1 dot con dot finish. Okay, console while one. And then after that, all of the condition is fulfilled. Then you just move the inside of the E1 is the path. and then you move it to the transporter. I can try add here because the method load1 is connected to the truck, and then the transporter is trigger the method when it hit the end of the network exit of the truck. So it means add now reference to the transporter. Okay, and then again add dot backward now equal to false. So it means that it will go forward and then put the speed. So it means now it will start traveling to E2. Okay, the speed is equal to 1 meter per second. Okay, finish lot 1, close it, and then lot 2, yeah, more or less the same with the lot 1. When it travels at the end of the lot, at the end of the truck, and it will trigger lot 2, and it will first stop the car, speed equal to 0. Okay, and then also wait until the same at E1 dot occupy equal to 2 on 1, wait until E2 dot con. It means that the park inside E2, and then finish. We finished. Okay, also on 1, and then the same. Transfer the park inside E2 to the app. Okay, and then now set backward to go backward to so that if we go back, and of course give it the speed so it can start moving. Okay, and now go to method unlock. Okay, so when you connect the method unlock, so this is cell edit of the method unlock when you connect it to the sensor. So it will give you the parameter. So param. So what is param? The param is the input data for this for method. Okay, it's different from the when you have var something. So it's just local the local variable that you create for the method, and the param. It means that this method require the input information. Okay, it require the input. Okay, the input of the method is the sensor ID and the boolean front or back, and then the booking position. Okay, and all of this input will be passed from the truck because we already specify here the sensor ID. So this is a sensor ID. Okay, and this is a front gear, and then this is a booking port. Okay, so this means that we don't have to do anything. We don't have to touch on the parameter here. Okay. For example, if in the future you write some kind of method, some different method, And this method is a method, maybe change the name method here. So maybe method here is the method sum. Okay. And then to sum, you need two input. Okay. Number one. Okay. And this is a real number. And number two is also a real number, for example. Okay. And then this method sum will sum to add up. Okay. To do the add operation with the two given input, number one and number two. And then in the future, in the other method, what you want to do is, for example, you can do here uh, uh, return return number one plus number two. Okay, that's it. Step around, then not around this one. So maybe use this one. So, okay, so it will specify the return is also the real value. Okay, and the let's check if the return is correct syntax. On many different languages have the different syntax. Is display. Okay, the return here is just not the result of the method. So what is result? Syntax. Okay, okay, so what is the number? Okay, maybe some. Okay, not. So this method sum will require two inputs, number one and number two, and then it will return or not will return. It will give the result of sum add up these two number and put it to sum, and the action is sum will equal to number one plus number two. Okay, that's it. Okay, it's not good. So maybe sum real or sum real. Yeah, return is a real number at 7. Okay. And then in the other method, what you want to do is you just give some and give them two input. For example, 5, 10. Okay. And then this will call the method sum and give the two input, 10 and 5, and give you the result by add up it two number. Okay. I think that this is one of the exercise here when they introduce about the input of the method. At the moment, you don't until now you don't see any method have the input because your method now run with the simulation. But maybe in the future that you will need the method with the input, and then this is how that we can specify the input for our function.